You see, if you ask anyone where internet fraud lives in Africa, they'll point straight to Nigeria, the land of the infamous Yahoo boy. I mean, these guys are sharp, fearless, and flashy. These are young men who have turned scamming into a lifestyle. I mean, we all know that story, but what if I told you there was another one? Darker, quieter, and more spiritual. You see, in Ghana, there are young men who believe that success online isn't just about Wi-Fi or strategy, but about spirit. Stay with me. They call this Sakawa, a world where laptops meet the spiritual, where fraud becomes a religion, and where the thin line between technology and the supernatural completely disappears. But how did a country known for gold, cocoa, and peace become a place where boys now pray to spirits before sending scam emails? You see, behind every headline of internet fraud, there's a much deeper story about survival, inspiration, and greed. And today, we're not just talking about crime, we're talking about a culture that found God in greed. You see, the word Sakawa comes from Hausa, meaning to put inside or to insert, originally referencing how money was made by smuggling in or how spiritual power was inserted into cyber crime. You see, around the mid-2000s, Ghana started appearing in the global internet fraud ranking. But you see, what makes Sakawa different from the standard scams is the ritual element. You see, in Ghana, many believe you can't just scam someone with a laptop. You must call on spirits and make sacrifices. Many studies describe Sakawa as use of evil power to commit internet fraud, where its scammers possess fetish priests, use magic rings, sometimes sleep in coffin, or carry human body parts to gain power. You see, this isn't a myth. In Ghana's central region, children as young as 14 are being drawn into cyber fraud every single day. So why Ghana, you might ask? Because Ghana offers the perfect storm: high youth unemployment, modern internet access, and a strong spiritual culture where supernatural belief is part of everyday life. See, think about this for a second. A man with no job, no future, no hope, in a country with internet cafes and smartphones, coupled with the promise of big money fast, and with the belief that God or spirits might even help. You see, suddenly fraud doesn't seem like crime anymore, it feels like destiny. You see, Sakawa boys organize themselves, they develop their own slang, their own jargon. They wore branded clothes, bought expensive cars, and posted their wealth online as proof. You see, the rituals were varied as they were shocking. Sleeping in coffins in cemeteries for days, wearing charms on their laptops, carrying human body parts, or giving animal sacrifices. And then the glam life encouraged it. Hip-hop music referencing Sakawa, films referencing Sakawa, nice clubs, luxury brands. I mean, the list goes on. These scams weren't secret anymore, they were lifestyle. So now you see that Sakawa didn't start with laptop, started with the belief, the power of something unseen. In Ghana, fraud wasn't enough, they wanted spirit to back it up. So now that we understand what Sakawa is, the next question is, how does it actually work? Because unlike the typical Nigerian Yahoo boy scam, the Sakawa system is structured, which ranks, rituals, and rules. You see, inside the Sakawa network, everyone has a rule. At the bottom, you have the small boys, the learners. They spend nights in internet cafes learning how to write love letters, edit photos, and how to bait foreigners online. Then comes the big boys, the experienced scammers who already have spirits to back them up. They are the ones driving Benz cars, sponsoring music videos, and mentoring new recruits. So at the very top is the spiritualist, the fetish priest that provides the spiritual backing that is believed to make every single scam work. You see, this is like a partnership between technology and traditional religion. So just imagine this as a business deal with the supernatural as your investor. If you fail to pay your costs, the spirits take their share one way or the other. See, most Sakawa scams fall in three main categories, which is much more similar to the global cyber fraud, but wrapped with spiritual power. And number one is the romance scam. You see, here they create fake profiles, use stolen photos of European women or American soldiers. Here they tell love stories and send charms and messages. And they even say the spirits help them capture the hearts of the victims. You see, the victims of this kind of scams are lonely Westerners who send money for plane tickets or medical emergencies. And at number two, we have the lottery and business scam. Here they impersonate NGOs, government agencies, or fake import companies. And you see here, rituals are believed to open the road for foreign clients to trust them. At number three, we have the money doubling or Bitcoin charm. And you see, this is a more modern evolution. They tell you invest this amount of crypto to this certain thing and your money gets doubled in 2 months. You see, victims send crypto or cash and the Sakawa boy vanishes after the first transaction. You see, this story sounds like folklore, but in Ghana, too many believe them to ignore. Even police has found ritual items in cyber raids, proving that this isn't just superstition, it's culture fused with technology. You see, when the money starts rolling in, the transformation is instant. Gold chains, Range Rovers, iPhones, designer shares. The goal isn't just to get rich, but to be seen as rich. Many Sakawa boys believe that showing off their wealth gives them spiritual power and respect. And the Ghanaian pop culture embraced this, with artists referencing Sakawa lifestyle in their songs and movies glorifying it on screen every single day. But you see, behind every gold chain is a debt, not to a bank, but to a spirit. Because in Sakawa, every blessing comes with, you guessed it, a curse. They say when you dance with the spirits, you don't get to choose when the music stops. In Ghana, for every Sakawa boy that buys a Benz, another disappears into silence. By now, you see the flash, the thrill, but behind that glow is a darkness that even money cannot even wash off. In the Sakawa world, the biggest fear isn't being caught by the police, but being caught by the spirits. You see, many believe that these rituals come with a contract, an unseen agreement that must be repaid or renewed. When the boy stops performing sacrifices or forgets to visit the shrine, strange things begin to happen. Some woke up paralyzed, some ran mad, and some report voices at night calling their name. Money without peace is indeed the most expensive kind. Imagine getting everything you've prayed for, the money, the clothes, the respect, and still not being able to sleep with the lights off. In Accra and Kumasi, there are whispers and stories of men who went mad overnight. Locals claim these were Sakawa boys who disobeyed their priest or mocked the spirits after cashing out. But you see, not every Sakawa boy ends up cursed. Some just grow older and just realize what they've become. Some return to churches, others to mosques, and some try to make peace with the same shrines they've once mocked. And that's when you realize that these boys aren't chasing money anymore, but they are running from something way deeper. But yeah, it's easy to point fingers, to call them greedy, evil, lost. But when a generation grew up seeing wealth as the only measure of worth, when jobs are scarce and survival becomes performance, then maybe Sakawa isn't just a Ghanaian story, it's our own reflection. Because every time we glorify quick success without questioning its source, every time we stigmatize legit hustlers, and every time we ignore the pain behind luxury, we feed these same spirits, the one that whispers, you too can make it fast. But maybe what Sakawa really shows us isn't the power of spirits, but the desperation of a generation that the system forgot. But then again, these young men weren't born criminals, and no matter how we try to deny it, our brothers, our friends, our fathers, our uncles, and if you live in West Africa, you see them every single day. They were dreamers, same as any of us. But when dreams meet hunger and hunger meets opportunity, faith starts to change form. Across Africa, we've watched an entire generation believe that to be respected, you must be rich, and that it's better to be feared than forgotten. And maybe that's why Sakawa exists, because when the system stops believing in you, you start believing in anything. And that's the tragedy. Not that they choose evil, but they never believed that good could ever win. As much as we love to shame the fraud boys, the scammers, the ritualists, but truthfully speaking, where are the jobs? Where are the mentors? And where are the chances? Because every Sakawa boy is a proof, not of greed, but of a continent that has left its youth to survive on their own terms. Because the real spirit of success isn't in shrines, it's in skill, hustle, and mind. But maybe one day the name Sakawa wouldn't mean fraud, but rebirth. The story of how a lost generation turned their pain into purpose. So next time you see a young man in Ghana or Nigeria flaunting their money online, don't just see greed, see the hunger, see the systems, and most of all, the story that could have been entirely different. This is The Untold. Like, subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments, and I'll definitely see you next time.